Hello and welcome to Fish Fingers and Custard Explosion Week's Doctor Who After Show, where we break down and discuss each and every episode of Doctor Who. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the show this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here and excited that Fish Fingers and Custard is the 15 Doctor's favourite Doctor Who podcast. I clearly heard him say during this episode,
yes,
Fish Fingers and Custard is my favourite.
That he did. And I got to be completely honest, I haven't looked into how and what and where to do it, but I'm like, surely I need to get that clip and replace the intro to the show. like as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, boom. Talking about boom, this week's episode. It's titled
what a segue.
It's so good, eh? Written by Stephen Moffat, returning. First time he's wrote an episode of Doctor Who since, I guess,
since the end of Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, what year was that? Let's have a look quickly. Since November 29th, 2021. Hold on. No, that's not. That was since December 25th, 2017. The end of Peter Capaldi, yeah. Been a while, but he's back. First episode he's done in ages. And this week's episode was directed by Julianne Robinson. Synopsis was: caught in the middle of a devastating war on Kastarion 3. The Doctor is trapped when he steps on a landmine. Can he save himself and Ruby, plus the entire planet, without moving? What do you think of this week's episode, Ash?
Fuck, this was good, wasn't it? I mean, it's so simple, but it's like so good. I think it's like a really interesting character study and like kind of character, an in-depth look at this version of the Doctor. I think a lot of the time we can get caught up in like intricate stories and that kind of stuff, but this is just such a simple idea of the Doctor having to deal with being in.
I was about to say this is literally Steve Moffat going, the Doctor, what? How does the
this
Doctor
is
save
close
the
to
world
a bottle episode
move?
as you're gonna get.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's just the Doctor having to be forced to stay in one place.
Yeah.
And
considering he's used to running around and whatever else, it's like the anti.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like an interesting is an interesting future that's introduced in this episode of like such interesting messaging around how like this group of Anglicans has gone to this planet and declared war against somebody
themselves.
Because of an algorithm, they're continuing to fight a war.
It's Helldivers too.
Yeah, democracy wins.
Democracy, yeah.
I mean, it's democracy in like every single war currently going on in the world, probably. Yeah, and like so much to like here. Really interesting that they introduced Monday in this episode, played by
Varda Sethu.
Yes, who we've heard is going to be a companion next season.
But when they tweeted out, or Russell T Davies tweeted out and said it's not the same character.
Oh.
So I don't think try and overthink
or is it?
Well, yeah, unless they're lying. But
unless they're lying, is it a Clara situation, or is it every other companion actor who gets recasted as
I think it's that thing where it's just they like the actor.
It'll be like a very far descendant. She'll play.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, something.
The only reason it's weird is because usually when Karen Gillan or
Peter Capaldi,
like any of those people showed up.
Martha played episode in.
Yeah, they were usually like a full season or two later, and like no one really noticed or remembered.
Yeah, remembered. Yeah,
Peter Capaldi, obviously in the same episode that Karen Gillan was in. So, I think it's just an actor thing. She was really good in this though. So fair play.
I will say, I didn't like the kid.
Kid was annoying. Yeah,
the kid was annoying, and like
you tackle her like you're fucking the Edge.
I mean, if it wasn't her, they would have all gotten off their mind much quicker. But yeah, fantastic episode. I really like it.
Yeah, I really liked it as well. It's it's still super fast paced, like because there's so much going on, but from literally one location and just taking the Doctor being able to run around and running away from monsters, such a big part of the show or whatever, and just having him have to stay in one place is sort of such an interesting idea in itself, I guess. But then you just
but it also showcases his like one of his super abilities is he's able to talk his way through
anything, basically. Yeah, that's his other thing. It's running and talking. Like, so they're like, let's just do one this episode, not both. But yeah, I mean, and then the other thing that's because it's a simple episode. So it's like when you by the time you get to the end of the episode, you're like, that's such a simplistic like story and everything that we just sort of watched play out, I guess. Like on paper, there's like a lot of you can dig a lot deeper into it, and there's a lot happening here. But like from a like if you were to describe synopsis, what happens from start to finish, it's so much easier to explain than the past couple episodes. But I think even just the stuff where it's so, I guess, good to see Doctor Who not fucking around with its potential like placating to certain demographics for where its politics stand, or like having to like forcefully be like, no, we're like just the straight into. I can't remember the line was like at the start about the mine, and just like war is profit, and but like all that sort of very just like plays it straight, and then down to the end, the fact that it's got he can work out the manufacture of the weapons, and then you got the fact that it's just a group of a church that's declared war on a planet because an AI system told them to, and they've just been fighting themselves for however long.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I love one of my favorite moments is like, Mundy's talking about faith and her beliefs and that kind of stuff, and then like later she's asking for proof, and like the Doctor's like, he did
now.
Now you did fucking proof.
Yeah.
Except with that,
now you want proof.
Yeah. Which I kind of, if she is being recast, I mean, I thought it would have been interesting if the Doctor was traveling with somebody who's kind of religious, and like, how do you deal with seeing what you do in time and space?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was written wrong. Maybe it is the same character. Maybe I don't know. Like, I would totally be down for it being the same character because I agree. Because it's not someone from Earth, so that's takes over. But yeah, and then B, someone who comes from a faith-based background, traveling the world and time is an interesting thing to throw into the mix, I guess. Yeah. Also, I definitely not that she's had too many shots at it, but Millie Gibson's best performance so far, easily as well.
As several people have pointed out, she gives very heavy Clara vibes in this episode, where she's like, the Doctor's like, I forbid you to do this, like, get fucked.
Yeah.
Also, I want to point out it's really weird that it's 6 months they've been together, apparently, according to something to say in this episode, and this is the first time she sees an alien planet.
Maybe like easing her in. He's just been taking her to different time periods first, not straight to the other planet thing. Well, to be fair, they did that thing we talked about, how usually the first companion goes off Earth for the first time, which they did technically because they went to a spaceship.
Yeah,
but I guess she never looked out the window to smell the roses.
No, she did look out the window, but she wasn't on the planet looking up at a different sky.
True, good point.
I think that's different.
Yeah.
And I just again I love Ncuti in that moment of like, you haven't seen a sky like that. It's so beautiful, isn't it? It's fucking appreciate it, the moon and everything. Also love the idea of they've got like the army or whatever has got like things that suck up the smoke up because they need to make sure they can keep shooting people.
Yep. Imagine if they had that in World War One.
Yeah.
The ambulances. What do you think of them? Obviously, the villain. Well, the villain really.
I mean, fucking terrifying. Really, you know, I'd probably be not cleared for medical, not cleared for active duty, and get vaporized, whatever.
Just get killed because it's too much effort to.
Yeah, I got like minor, bit chubby. My eyes aren't great.
Yep.
Too much effort. Let's get rid of him. not cost effective.
It's crazy how they're like, yeah. Like, your eyes are fucked. 4 weeks it'll take to fix them, which you'd be like, damn, that's pretty.
That's
Technology
actually
in the
pretty good.
future is crazy. That's
4 weeks.
fucking fast. 4 weeks to fix your eyes. Nah, too long. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Get in the tube. Turned into mush. Bit gross, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also like fully implemented AI copy, kind of, which is kind of the downfall of the algorithm in the end.
Yeah, I mean the episode like has, it goes for the straight negative approach for AI at the start with the AI's in charge of
It's just the algorithm.
who these people, the algorithm been playing and whatever else, but then does a sort of but maybe there's
if you add humanity to AI, then
I guess that's the
secret
source to it, was to humanity to AI. But then even they didn't believe the other people, the churchy people, whatever. She couldn't believe that, or even the ambulance, the algorithm itself couldn't believe that an AI could have done that to itself, which was interesting. But,
yeah.
Brush your teeth is the moral of the story.
Brush your teeth, kiss.
Yeah. Brush your teeth, kiss. What? That's fucking creepy, really. When he kept saying it, I was like, I thought the last line thing he recorded would just be sent to his kid or whatever. But the fact that he keeps saying it, I'm like, Jesus, that's a bit
kind of weird.
But anyway,
yeah.
Weird. And then the other thing I want to point out that I thought was interesting. Well, two other things I really want to talk about this episode. First one is I saw someone tweet something. Thank God, no more singing this week. Wrong. This every episode again
very heavily
features
singing.
a song. Is this a theme?
Yeah, I mean, this is the
so far.
This
Dr.
Last singing,
Yeah.
I mean, it's to help himself keep calm and has like a story reason. It isn't like kind of fourth wall breaking.
No, it has a story reason, but still, I'm just finding it interesting how music's still such a big part. And then the other thing, I guess, which is that it snowed again.
It did. Well, technically, she died, right?
Well, yeah. Did she like fully die, or?
I don't know. She got revived, but she was pretty close. And the so story kind of stopped, right? As well. So yeah,
like it froze. So, any more thoughts on who we think what the secret is to?
I don't know.
Sunday?
Yeah, I think another interest, like, again, this episode, the Doctor mentions that he's a father. Like, he goes off from father to father. We do everything to save our children. I don't know if that's like, again, foreshadowing. Like, is she a descendant of the Doctor in some way or something like that? Tied that way. That's a possibility. I've seen lots of theories online about, people thinking that the lady from the church is River Song, or she's the children of Jenny from the whatever episodes, like the Tenets.
How much do we want? Would you prefer it to be something more unique or more heavily tied into past stuff?
I would prefer it to be something unique, because then it's sort of something new and fresh for all of us, where it feels like everybody's being rewarded for this new thing. Whereas if it's just, if it's an old, it's like all the old fans get something tie in some way.
I mean, if she's tied into the Doctor's past somehow in a way that he doesn't even realize, I think that's fine, because that's still new for everyone. But the second you start being like River Song or like the Ranny or whatever the hell direction you want to go, Susan, whatever else, that's the second it's like too heavily in the past. Yeah.
But I mean, the idea that, well, we've already established he's the last of the Time Lords, so like the only way to bring the Time Lords back is for him to start having a family, so.
Well, it's 2 now, right? So, 2
is
Time Lords.
I guess technically, yeah. Right now.
Not untechnically. I just think, there's 2 versions of the Doctor running around. So.
Well, we don't know. David Tennant might be dead by now.
Whoa. Holy shit.
I also say I love the line, everywhere's a beach eventually.
Yeah. Hideo Kojima. Shout outs. Sorry, as soon as I heard the line, that's all my mind could think of was fucking Death Stranding for whatever reason. I've got.
But the kind of nihilism too. Like, we all die eventually. Everything melts away.
Yeah.
That's fun. And the other interesting point that I've saw people point out, because people are some people were kind of like, oh, why didn't he completely like destroy the villain guard or whatever? Apparently, he already has. So in an episode during, Eccleston's run.
Right, yeah.
The villain guard are mentioned in an episode, and he says that he took them out and they put a banana grove or something there. And then apparently there's a comic in which the War Doctor defeats the villain guard.
Now, the comics aren't treated as canon, though, is the thing. As far as I'm aware, they don't treat the comics as canon in Doctor Who.
But they can if they want.
They can if they want. They can if they want, but yeah. They're very picky choosy.
But yes, there's history to the villain guard within Doctor Who already.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, so would have never fucking... Who the fuck's sitting there watching this going, oh, in Eccleston's run they mentioned it. Like, it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, this was a fun Moffat episode.
Yeah, it was. And he didn't really... I guess the thing was, when people are like, man, Moffat's doing an episode for first time in ages, wonder what crazy villain he'll do.
It's going to be Blink 4.
It'll be Blink again, like sort of thing. But like he I mean, it's very, very unvillain focused episode. It was very like just focused. Like there is a villain, but it's not really. This isn't. Some Doctor Who episodes are more about a villain and a mystery and stuff like that. This is more just,
character work.
Yeah, which is good. Next week, I think it's worth mentioning that because Russell T Davies in an interview has said two things that, and I'm just hyper. I don't have the actual quotes in front of me, but something along the lines of both next week's episode being apparently the first story he ever wrote about Doctor Who or something years ago, and then also him saying he reckons it's the best thing he's ever done. So
wow,
I don't want to set up your like hype levels, but that's what he's been saying in interviews this week. So
yeah.
And next week's episode does seem like it's maybe leaning more into revealing more about Ruby. And also seems to be like a fucking Blink episode, weirdly, in which the Doctor's not really in it.
Yeah.
So,
at least from the
preview.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And Kate Bishop's back in it, so.
Yeah.
Shout outs. All right, anything else from this week you want to talk about? Or
no. Just
happy with that? Yeah.
Really happy with Doctor Who so far.
Yeah. No complaints. Yeah.
The other thing that I saw people point out was it's odd that the Doctor ran away with it before the companion. Before he ran out on his own. Didn't wait for Ruby. But
yeah, well, I
guess he's impulsive.
Yeah, well, I guess that just shows something, because even like maybe of previous Doctors, even if they heard someone yelling out for help, they would still just be like, they would still put their companion first or whatever. But this Doctor just heard someone. It says a lot about this version, I guess. This Doctor heard someone yelling out for help and just went, right? So I think that just shows difference. So, and I know I don't like when people do this. Oh, it doesn't really make sense. The Doctor wouldn't do that, or whatever. I'm like, each version of Doctor's a new Doctor. I don't give a fuck what you reckon the Doctor wouldn't do. It's a new Doctor. You don't know what this Doctor would or wouldn't do. Like, that's the whole point of regeneration, So, anyway, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Fish, Fingers, and Custard, the official best Doctor Who podcast, because they've finally mentioned. Because for a while there, I was like, man, this podcast title is funny for a while, but now
it's funny, but they never mention it.
They never mention it. And as soon as they mentioned it, I was like, yes.
And in the perfect context.
Perfect context.
Perfect clip.
It was so good. So yeah, I need to get that, and I hope BBC doesn't sue me if I want to use that as a new intro or something, because that's perfect. It really is perfect. Of course, check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news, fun things over on there. explosionnetwork.com/Twitter takes you to our X page. explosionnetwork.com/support takes you to our Ko-fi page, where you can donate as little as $1 to help support this show and or the website, or both. Why not? We'll be back next week to talk about next week's episode, which is called 73 Yards. We'll see you there. Goodbye.
It's interesting that using yards, because the English use a metric system.
Good point. I got nothing else to say, but yeah, good point.
Yeah.